welcome to Blonde on Music episode 5. Today I'm going to talk about social media and online marketing, and I know we're all sick of hearing about it, but I do listen to a lot of online marketing podcasts and read a lot of material on the subject, so I thought I might just be able to share some insight with you. I think I'll break it down into the 5 top platforms and what their best uses are. So number 1 would have to be Facebook. I think of Facebook as being very tribal. It's where you gather your tribe around you. I use a Facebook page for every one of my business segments. So I think I've got 7 or 8 Facebook pages that are active. And I also use Facebook ads, and I've got about 4 active ads at the moment. So I must admit that bang for my buck, I do think that Google AdWords gets more direct business to us. But Facebook ads certainly serve a purpose. So again, I think of Facebook as being very tribal. YouTube. So YouTube would have to be my number 2. Obviously, it's great for stuff like this, where you can very inexpensively and with very little bother get your message across. It's great, obviously, for musicians and artists to be able to show their work to the world. It's also now number 2 search engine in the world. So Google being number 1 and YouTube being number 2 search engine. So, I mean, that's pretty fantastic. So YouTube is where you can be your own PR star. Your blog, your website or your blog, this is the mothership. This is the format that you have the most control over as far as look and feel and content and the whole experience. I think it's still really important. I know I've been on about it before, but mailing list is so important, and you've got to be trying to drive traffic to your website or your mothership and get them signed up. Number 4 would have to be LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, I think its best use is joint venture and partnership. So if you're looking to work with somebody in the industry or find somebody that complements what you're doing, that's where you would contact them and partner or joint venture with them. I see that as a huge advantage to the way that LinkedIn is set up. Obviously, it's more business orientated than it is socially orientated. I must admit that I haven't done a lot with LinkedIn, but it is on my list. So as I start using it more and experiment with it more, I'll share those results with you. Twitter would be number 5. Now, I've loved to hate Twitter up until recently, but I have now realised the power of it. And I'll just tell you a little story. The first day that I sat down on Twitter thinking, I'll have a look at who to follow and I'll see if I can pick up some followers by putting some posts out there, I came across a post by the Music Network who I had followed, and they had a little article attached about how commercial radio has lost funding dollars, government funding dollars. It was a really interesting article, so I wrote back to them and said, thanks for sharing that, and it's made me realise that, I really need to get behind community radio. Now, they obviously liked the comment and they retweeted it, and now they have nearly 9,000 followers. So with one relevant piece of feedback, I connected with that profile, and I was retweeted to nearly 9,000 followers. And then what happens is some of those followers might see me, think, what is this Blonde on Music about? Click on it, see what I do, and so it goes on. So one other thing I'll say about social media is if you're releasing video clips, if you're releasing information about new singles, new business projects, make sure I suggest that you stagger them across the platforms, because if you hit all the platforms at once, it's hard sometimes to know what it's really equating to in the end. So for instance, when we released Stuart Cohinga's video clip, we released it on Facebook and we let that sit there for a week or so before we did anything else with it. We then released it to his mailing list and so on. Next thing we'll hit will be Twitter.
Well, I've been in hiding, but not yet unwinding the ropes that are binding me to you. Though you put in writing that you'd like me to. Was I out of my mind when we were colliding? Did I give up trying, or was that you? Was it just bad timing, or was one of us lied to? And all of your spears just got sharpened by the ginger in his beard. You'll fly much higher and hit me much harder, now he's here. And all of your spears just got sharpened by the ginger in his beard. You'll fly much higher and hit me much harder, now he's here. Thanks, everyone.
The other thing I just want to touch on briefly is online marketing. Online marketing works really well for us. When we first opened the venue, we were spending a lot of money on street press, local papers, radio campaigns, and I mean throwing significant money away. Sorry if you're from one of those mediums and you're watching this. Online marketing has worked best for us. It's free, it takes time, of course, it takes time, but it is very low cost. So we release a newsletter every week for the venue to our mailing list. We post on Facebook, of course, all the events, information on all the events, and sometimes a bit of backstory on events, some photos or video, and keep that rolling along. But what really works for us is listing on 15 or 16 different online event guides. Time consuming. I think it would take Tim, my dear assistant, or I, probably all day if we were doing, say, 4 events at a time. Now, I've been hearing more and more about business people with virtual assistants, particularly for online marketing and SEO, search engine optimization. So I thought, what the hang, I'm going to give it a try. I found a platform called Odesk. It wasn't recommended to me, and there are plenty of others that were, but I came across Odesk. I thought it looked pretty easy to use. Huge range of expertise available, everything from very basic data entry and admin right through to SEO, website development, illustrators, you name it, it's on there. I got the virtual assistant to do 2 events for us, so he listed 2 events on 16 different platforms with blurb, all the information, had to upload photos, did everything that we do, and he charged me $15. Now that's less than 1 hour of my internal staff's time. So hopefully that will give you some idea of why I'm pretty excited about this subject. And if you've got a tedious task that's time consuming, go on to Odesk or one of those platforms and have a look. It's really well worth it. I'm wrapped. And now we're trying to work out what else that we can pass over to my fabulous virtual assistant. I won't release his name in case you go to Odesk and find him. That might not be kosher. But yeah, have a look. Well worth it.